Today, Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024, presents a very momentous event. Speaker, following the reshuffle that His Excellency the President has caused to his government, the matter came to be raised as to whether there should be a change in the leadership of the party in Parliament, that is the Majority Caucus. A lot of discussions have gone on in respect of the subject matter, some of them very informed, others, unfortunately, not informed. The discussions had the potential of degenerating into consequences, the end results of which could be rather fatal, or, as I have stated elsewhere, rather cataclysmic for my party in our effort to break in the eight, which effort has thus far, in the Fourth Republic, not ended successfully for any party in government. We in the NPP have trust. We believe in our ability to achieve this with God by our side, even if there may be some rampaging storms as of now. Mr. Speaker, it was amidst the discussions that at a meeting of the caucus, which the President had requested, I tendered my resignation as Majority Leader in order to still the storm and facilitate peace and unity required for the party at this time. Mr. Speaker, that decision that I made was not within the presence of Parliament. This morning, I summoned the caucus meeting to formally announce to my colleagues that I have elected voluntarily to step down as the Majority Leader and, by that, Leader of the House. Ahead of the meeting, the National Party had been informed and invited to this meeting that happened this morning. Speaker, the Majority Caucus has, over the past few days, been conferring and consulting with the National Party to fill the vacancy created in the leadership of the caucus, especially since the Honorable Cyril Malasan, the first Deputy Majority Whip, has been nominated for ministerial position. At the caucus meeting this early morning, the caucus, by consensus, concluded that the Honorable Alexander Kwamena Afenyo-Markin, the Member of Parliament for Efutu, and until now the Deputy Majority Leader, should take the place of yours truly, Osechi Mezabus, Member of Parliament for Swame, as the Majority Leader and Leader of the House, with immediate effect that is consequent upon this communication. The National Council of the New Patriotic Party, meeting this morning, has accepted this proposal. The Council, in consultation with the caucus, has further approved of the following members of Parliament to occupy the following respective positions. 1, Ms. Patricia PJ, MP for Asukwa. Asukwa in Kumasi, not Adansi Asukwa, as Deputy Majority Leader. Frank Anodompre, MP for Nsawam Adwajiri, retains his position as Majority Chief Whip. The Honorable Alhaji Habib Idrisu, the Member of Parliament for Tolong, goes one rank higher on the ladder and now assumes the position of First Deputy Majority Whip. And the Second Deputy Majority Whip's position is now to be occupied by the Honorable Alex Tete Jonibua, the Member of Parliament for Sefi Akontomra. Mr. Speaker, let me take the opportunity to thank you for the cooperation and collaboration that existed between you and I over the entire period that our paths crossed here in Parliament. We have worked together to uplift the status of the Ghanaian Parliament in many endeavors, and much more, especially latterly, since you assumed the position of the Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker, human as you and I are, we have occasionally disagreed, but even in the state of disagreement, the kernel of the matter has always been how to reform the system for a better way that will affect the affairs of Parliament. On the part of my colleagues in the majority, I express tons of appreciation for the trust reposed in me, beginning as caucus secretary under the Venerable J.H. Mensah, Deputy Whip, Chief Whip, Deputy Majority Leader, Minority Leader for 8 years, and Majority Leader for 7 years and now 2 months. I guess this is unprecedented in the history of Ghana's parliamentary democracy. Mr. Speaker, I thank my colleagues for always being there for me and for the cause of the party and government. I will entreat my colleagues to offer the same assistance and support to my successor in order to successfully prosecute the remaining agenda of government. In my capacity as leader of my caucus, in minority and majority, as a leader, I've had to work with many of my compatriots on the other side of the political divide. Majority and minority leaders from the NDC, beginning with your good self, Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, ASK Bagbin, the Speaker, in your life before life. Cletus Aboka, my eternal friend, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, the Honorable Harry Naidrusu, and now the Honorable Atufosi, Kesio, Doctor. In the case of all these people, we have developed a very cordial working relationship, even though we belong to different sides of the political spectrum. And the working relationship, Mr. Speaker, has translated into such close relationship that sometimes people begin to think that perhaps we are hiding something from the rest of the members of Parliament. But it's all to encourage a smooth transition of government business and indeed the cause of the country in Parliament. I thank them all, including in particular those others who have been in leadership, close or expanded. Mr. Speaker, in my capacity in the leadership of my party, I've worked with 5 clerks of Parliament, 4 clerks of Parliament, Nana Rex Owusu-Ansah, who just transitioned, Mr. Ken Tachi, or should I say Ambassador Ken Tachi, Mr. Anyimedu, and now Mr. Cyril Kwabena Oting Nsia. It has been a pleasure and a comfort working with all of them, despite a few disagreements sometimes. Mr. Speaker, let me also profoundly thank not only my caucus and indeed the other caucus, but the entire membership, officers and men of this House. The other staff, senior and junior, have all played their parts to ensure that we raise high the flag of Ghana in the Parliament of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, Parliament has given me visibility in many international fora. I've been the Africa Regional Chairman of the African Parliamentarians Network Against Corruption for 4 years. I've been the Vice Chairman of the Global Organization of Parliamentarians Against Corruption for 4 years. I've been an Executive Committee member of the Africa Regional Chapter of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association for 15 continuous years. I've been the Vice Chairman of CPA International for 3 years, unprecedented in the annals of the CP International. I've been a chairman of one of only 4 committees at the IPU for 2 terms. I've been a member of the ECOWAS Parliament and leader of Ghana's representation. All these because the Parliament of Ghana has provided me the platform and supported me, and I'm eternally grateful to the Parliament of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, today I bow out, and I do so by introducing to you Mr. Alex Afenyo-Markin Kwamina, who takes over from me as the new majority leader. So, Mr. Speaker, if you indulge me, I will usher my colleague into a seat, and I'll take a bow to where I belong to. Mr. Speaker, we have seen a change of battle in this House, which involved even your good self. And often it has been acrimonious. We should depart from that trajectory and move on to establish sound parliamentary practice. I think that is what would indeed glorify us and set us apart from what has happened in the past. Speaker, I thank you all for the occasion. I thank you very much.
So the new leaders in Parliament have now taken their seat. You've heard there from Majority Leader State Chairman Sabonsu, who has read quite a lengthy speech, really talking about how this was really cordial. Let's go back to the floor and listen to the Speaker.
As the father of this House and the present father of democracy in Ghana, because Parliament is the house that holds democracy everywhere in the world. That is the house not just of the people, it is the house of democracy, and that is the house of accountability. And as we chart this unending, unknown journey called democracy, we will definitely come across challenges. And it's important that as leaders, we with calm nerves and reason, smoothing the journey and find amicable solutions. And so I decided, after consultation with leadership, that in view of the new standing orders, honorable members, you listen and don't go out and misinform the public. In view of the new standing orders, we clarify the situation for compliance by everybody. There is good reason that in the new standing orders, we decided to take away in the definition of the leaders, that is the majority leader and the minority leader, the two words party or parties. I should say three words, parties or parties, and rather give the duty of designation to the caucuses, minority caucus and majority caucus, because we have had an experience. And the good people of Ghana has given us guidance in this matter. So you realize in the definition of caucus, whether it's majority caucus or minority caucus, we retained those three words, party or parties. Which meant that in the process, before the formal designation in Parliament, the party or parties involved, whether majority caucus or minority caucus, should lead the way in trying to assist in the decision as to who will now lead those caucuses on the floor of Parliament. That is what we have done, so that it is not like an imposition by any person or any group of persons. This is the path and the best way to go. Because members, as I stated earlier on, campaign and in fact come into this house on the platform of parties. And these are national parties, not sectional parties or family parties. And that national character must be shown in the leadership of the representatives in the House. And you cannot do that by giving this process to one man or a group of people. There must be deep consultation. That is the process we want to be complied with by all. But the formal declaration should be, according to our rules, by the caucus. That's why the designation is by the caucus. Now, as the father of the house, definitely the communication will also have to come to me, so that we don't have any person among the caucus upstage the caucus. People don't just get up and say, I have now been designated as the leader of the caucus. There should be evidence, and that evidence is in my hands, to the process of consultation, deeper consultation, and the House should be formally informed. And so I have that formal information, and together with leadership, we decided that we should detail out this process so that transitions in the House be completely seen as not one of anger, not one of acrimony, not one upstaging another, but a very harmonious and seamless process. And this is why we decided to do what we are doing. But I'll read the communication to you, but there are some kernels of wisdom in the communication too. And as you know, it's only God that is all-knowing. That is the only wise creator by himself. The rest of us is a pieces of his wisdom he shared with us. So we have a bit of it each. And it's when we put them together that maybe ours can be nearer what he has. And so I'll read it for you to see how the party wanted me to know, and if anybody tried to sabotage or upstage anything on the floor, I should not be part of it. So the party wrote to me by a letter dated February 23rd, 2024, and signed by the General Secretary, Justine Kodia Frimpong. It says, and I read, Right Honorable Speaker, subject, notification of changes in the Majority Caucus leadership. Respectfully, on behalf of the National Council of the Governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, I write to inform you of the recent changes in the leadership of the Majority Caucus in Parliament, in accordance with Order 6 of the Standing Orders of Parliament 2024, as interpreted by your good self. As we explained in your interpretation of Order 6 on February 21st, 2024, the designation of parliamentary leaders is a collaborative process that involves both the parliamentary caucus and the respective political parties. This understanding has guided our decision-making process in the recent reshuffle. In this spirit, and after considerable deliberation within our party and consultation with the Majority Caucus, we have designated the following honorable members to the leadership positions on the Majority Front Bench. 1. Majority Leader, Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin, MP for Efutu. 2. Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Patricia Apieje, MP for Asokwa. 3. Majority Chief Whip, Honorable Frank Ano Dompre, MP for Insaum Aduajiri. 4. First Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Habib Idrisu, MP for Tolong. 5. Second Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Alex Tete Yonubwa, MP for Shefi Akutumbra. These appointments follow the stepping down of Honorable Oseche Mensah Bonsu, MP for Swami, from his role as Majority Leader, and the nomination of Honorable Lydia Siriam Alasan, MP for Ayawasu West Wogon, by His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as Minister Designate for Sanitation and Water Resources. The National Council, in consultation with the Majority Caucus, has taken great care to ensure these changes are in line with the legal and democratic principles that underpin our parliamentary democracy. We respectfully request your kind assistance in formalizing these appointments and reiterate our commitment to the effective functioning of Parliament under your distinguished leadership. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for your guidance and support. Yours sincerely, Justine Kodia Frimpong, General Secretary. Honourable members, this will definitely be part of the Hansard. We have in our statements both the outgone Majority Leader and my good self giving some corrections to some portions of this communication. And the other one I will add is that we don't have any designation in Parliament as First Deputy Majority Chief Whip. We don't have that. We have First Deputy Majority Whip, not Chief. And the same, we don't have Second Deputy Majority Chief Whip. We have Second Deputy Majority Whip. And this is clearly stated in Order 21 of the new standing orders under Precedence in the House. It's not only from outside, even some of you, in making references to these office holders, also make the same mistake. So let's get it right. I will now give opportunity to the minority leader to at least say a word.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to bid our respected former colleague and counterpart from across the aisle, the Honorable former Majority Leader and a Member of Parliament for Swami, a befitting farewell as he officially exits the Majority front bench. Mr. Speaker, news of his unexpected resignation hit all of us on the night of Wednesday, 21st February 2024, as we continue to ponder over how this House will overcome the huge void that he has created by his untimely exit from leadership. We cannot help, Mr. Speaker, but to respect his decision to take a bow. Without a doubt, Right Honorable Speaker, the venerable former leader of this House will be fondly missed. Just like your good self, Right Honorable Speaker, your contemporary, the Honorable OKMB, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, has left a mark and a permanent footprint that will probably prove difficult to surpass in the annals of our legislation for years to come. I dare say, Right Honorable Speaker, that his knowledge and experience of parliamentary practice and procedures can be matched by very few members of Parliament. Having been a Deputy Majority Leader, Chief Whip, Majority Chief Whip, of course, Deputy Majority Leader, Leader and Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs, Minority Leader, Majority Leader, and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, he rose full cycle through all the ranks of both minority and majority front bench of this august House. Many include my good self who attest to his leadership style, brilliance, rigor, and attention for detail, his unique, humane, and personable nature that has always commended by most people. Mr. Speaker, as he leaves the majority front bench now towards his final bow, my earnest wish is that he will be kind to avail his wealthy experience and knowledge to members of this House from both sides to tap in. This House, by extension, the good people of Ghana, are exceedingly grateful for his illustrious, selfish, and patriotic service to the people of Ghana. We thank selfless, and patriotic service to the people of Ghana. We take this opportunity to wish him manifold of God's blessing and very best in his endeavors. Mr. Speaker, as I take my seat, I also wish to welcome and congratulate my colleague, my new colleague, and a friend, the Honorable Afenyo Makin, as he takes his seat as the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, no more Eyato. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let's now listen to the Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin, the new majority leader, make his maiden speech as majority leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues in leadership, colleague members of Parliament, parliamentary staff, our friends in the media. Today is a day in my life that I never saw it coming. My journey in life has been very checkered. It's been rough, and sometimes it's as if there's going to be no light at the end of the tunnel. But today, I stand before you with profound humility and great honor to say that the party NPP has honored me to be the primus of this great chamber. Mr. Speaker, I take the opportunity here to share a few words. As a member of Efutu, a member of Parliament for Efutu, and a proud son of Winneba in the Central Region, and chairman in the Volta region of Ghana, my long journey to this podium, as you may be well aware, received a lot of setbacks. Mr. Speaker, in 2004, when I first won my primaries, just 2 days to the filing at the EC, the elders of Winneba said I was too young to be an MP. The opportunity was taken away from me. In 2008, I contested, and the result was 22-22. The regional executives of the party said that the then MP was a member of the Constituency Executive Committee, therefore he had a casting vote. You can imagine the result. He voted for himself 23-22. I lost the chance. We were 3 that year. Honorable Kweku Kwatin, Honorable Joe Wise, Joe Osewusu, and my good self, the Speaker, we formed the One Vote Alliance. The elders of Efutu prevailed upon me to accept the bitter pill, which I did. But proud to this, I had contested as an assemblyman when the 204 bid failed, because an elderly man in Winneba said, in politics, you don't give up. So I won, served 2 terms as an assemblyman, and got elected as a presiding member in Efutu. 2012, when I finally got the nod to lead the party in Efutu, none had confidence in my ability to win. In fact, I went to President Kufuor, pleaded to get an elderly face to speak for me in Winneba. In the end, Honorable Hackman Owusu-Agyeman sacrificed to be in Winneba and talk to the people. Honorable Stephen Asamoah-Boateng joined later, where we did our house to house. By the grace of God, I won. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, I worked so hard in Efutu, and when my party had the opportunity to govern, I had great expectation. My expectation was to be part of the success story. But that was not my time. Mr. Speaker, young colleagues who had just joined us in this chamber had the privilege of being cabinet ministers. And I recall that even at committee level, I was neither a vice chair nor a chair of any committee. I never complained. I worked so hard. I was nominated to ECOWAS Parliament. When I got to Abuja, there was crisis because one of our colleagues intended to continue, and we had only 8 slots, not 9. The situation was becoming embarrassing. I had to, on my own accord, resign, and I came back home, expecting to be honored with a position, at least at committee level. That did not happen. I never complained. Mr. Speaker, I continue to work hard to serve this party. I continue to sacrifice my all for this party. And today, the saying that rising to eminence by merit, you live respected, has come true. I thank my party for this great honor. Mr. Speaker, in 2013, when I entered the House, this House was full of great men and women. Rising to speak was a problem. I recall that even getting the confidence to correct the spelling of my name was a problem. So I would see the vote and proceedings and just walk. But a brother, gave me confidence. Dr. Mark Esebe Yeboah, a true brother, a selfless brother, who believed in teamwork, called me one day when I was in Winneba, that Kwame and I come to Parliament. We are debating the budget. I said, how would I start? He said, come, I'll prepare some notes for you. We sat at the back bench, and I made that effort. I was so scared. What if I make a mistake? What if I slip? But Kwame Mark Esebe Yeboah said, you can do it. Come on, go on, I've done mine. And it happened. I thank you, Mark. How I wish you were here with me. I miss you dearly. You are a true brother. You are selfless, and you made it happen. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mr. Jethro is a man today, if I pass him by, then indeed I have been ungrateful. There is a man who adopted me as his own. I call him Osofo. He, together with other parliamentary staff, gave me the needed guide. When we are filing questions, he will correct you. How to learn the standing orders and all. Mr. Jethro would always avail his time to support. Mr. Jethro, you and your staff, I am grateful to you. You made me who I am today. Mr. Speaker, my professor who taught me at the Ghana Law School, former leader of this house, Kumbo, Honorable Papa Owusu-Ankrumah, now Ambassador, a High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, the late E.T. Mensah. Mr. Speaker, these were great men and women, great men I came to meet here, who supported me and did everything to guide my thoughts. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me go to my predecessor. Mr. Speaker, as if prophecy come true, in my early days, I received a call from Honorable Obi Amwa. That leader was traveling all the way to Hanoi, Vietnam, and he was supposed to be part of the trip, but for some reasons, he could not make it. And he has requested that I join leader in his stead. Mr. Speaker, upon arrival in Hanoi, in one of the nights, Honorable Oseche Mensah had a good discussion with me. He advised that I stay close to the standing orders. And he realizes that many people don't pay attention to the standing orders. He added that if you do it well and you discipline yourself, perhaps you may succeed me. You may never know. Mr. Speaker, when we got to Kenya for a long transit, we again had this conversation. And in this conversation, he repeated saying, today is the day. Honorable Minority Leader, let me assure you that we're going to have a time of bipartisanship. I want to assure you of my commitment. The situation is when you are playing number 5, you are the defender. You are supposed to be abrasive. But now as a striker, I cannot use that strategy. So there will be no more A at all. We are going to work together because the happiness and the unity of this house shall materially depend on me. And I cannot afford to allow rancor to prevail. Mr. Speaker, the venerable MP for Swami, Honorable Oseche Mensah, is an institution, no doubt. It's a big shoe I'm going to wear. And I recall Harun Eseku telling me that NPP is not easy to be a leader. And I know behind me are professors, doctors, lawyers, businessmen. They know it. It's going to be tough. But colleagues, I call on your cooperation. I call on your support. And I also, Mr. Speaker, invoke the support and blessing of those ascended leaders of this house to endure me with such fortitude, not to fail in this hour of trial, but walk through the valley of the shadow of death and rise like the stars in heaven. Mr. Speaker, I have assumed the leadership of this house at a time that this government is facing critical economic situation. Mr. Speaker, we've been struck with post-COVID consequences. We are having a situation in Ukraine and Russia where, Mr. Speaker, world trade is being disrupted. So no government is having it easy. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure my colleagues that together I will be committed into ensuring that we work hard to break the 8. Honorable Minority Leader, I just want to plead that in this hallowed chamber, let us do everything we can to promote democracy. Let us assure our people that we don't fight in this chamber. That in this chamber we discuss issues, we deliberate without personalizing it. I promise you that. And even as we go out there to talk to our people, let us make them understand that the essence of democracy is to discuss ideas. After all, both parties have had the opportunity to govern this country before. You are coming back seeking the mandate with your old records, which records we know. We are coming in with our existing records and our new visionary leader, which you know. So, Mr. Speaker, let's set out the issues and make sure that the right things are done to ensure that we sustain this democracy. Mr. Speaker, I shall conclude by thanking you exceedingly for your wise counsel. Mr. Speaker, you took me as a son. Mr. Speaker, in moments of depression, you were there for me. In moments of difficulty, I came to you for advice, especially when expectations were not being met. We traveled to Côte d'Ivoire, we traveled to Togo, we traveled to Uganda. In all of these, your advice was one: your time will come, have patience. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for that fatherly role you played in my life. And I want to promise you that I will not let you down. The job is difficult, it's challenging, but the God that made it possible for you to survive, and the God that made it possible for my predecessor to survive, will make it possible for your son, Kwamena Afenyo-Markin, to survive. Mr. Speaker, not the least, let me thank my wife for her support. Mr. Speaker, being in public life, I married my wife when I was only 23, and she was 22. Mr. Speaker, I started public life very early, and most of the time, you have to leave for Winneba, come midnight, go back, run your business, go to court and all. Mr. Speaker, through it all, my wife, Diane Nanama Frimpoma, has been with me. I thank her for her support. It's not easy. We've done 21 years and still counting. And I know that the Lord would make it possible for me to deliver my new duty with her support. Mr. Speaker, without more, I shall thank you. I shall thank you for the opportunity and want to thank my colleagues.
So that was Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who has taken over the leadership baton from Osei Mensah Bonsu as majority leader. Earlier, Osei Mensah Bonsu officially